Before we get started, you guys, a quick disclaimer. Everything discussed in this episode comes from publicly available federal indictments, court records, and official law enforcement releases. And an indictment is only a formal accusation, and every person mentioned in this episode is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. My name is Christian Whitlow, and this is Fed by Fire. And I'm not a journalist, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal expert. I'm just someone who's spent a lot of time around the realities of crime, addiction, and the justice system. I've seen firsthand how quickly lives can spiral when drugs, money, and desperation all collide. And that's part of what pushed me to start this channel. And here on Fed by Fire, I break down real federal cases, the investigations, the tactics used, the stories behind the headlines, so that people can understand how these operations actually work and what's really happening inside the federal system in this day and time. Hey everyone, I'm so glad you guys are here for this deep dive. Let's get into it. And today, we are going to take the time and, to break down 4 brand new federal cases that were dropped this week. They paint one of the wildest pictures that American prosecutors are chasing right now. From the most high-tech international cyber terror funding operations in history, straight to the FBI's 10 most wanted list, to a laugh-out-loud, low-tech produce scam in Florida that sounds like a bad comedy sketch, straight to a cold-blooded, drug-related murder in Hawaii that was caught on video, and wrapping it all up with a old-school Houston street gang ATM smash-and-grab style case that just had convictions last week. These 4 stories cover everything from multi-million-dollar malware empires bankrolling foreign terrorists, to stolen onion trucks, to street executions, to drive-through robberies. So, if you stick around for the contrasts are insane, and the details of these stories will blow you away. Let's start with a story that is making national headlines and rewriting the cybercrime rulebook as we know it. On March 12, 2026, the FBI added 49-year-old Venezuelan national Anibal Canellan. He's a part of the 10 most wanted fugitives. He was just put on the list, the 440th person ever added, the first pure cyber criminal in the list history. And this is also the first time in the Omaha field office has put anyone on the national list since 1975. Canellan is also known as Prometheus, or the engineer. He's about 5'5" or 5'7", 190 pounds, with black and gray hair and brown eyes. He speaks Spanish and has ties to Venezuela and Mexico, and authorities believe that he's hiding in Venezuela and consider him armed and dangerous. And the alleged operation kicked off at least in January 2024 when crews in Venezuela and Colombian operatives fanned out across the U.S., especially the Midwest, in places like Omaha and Chicago. And they'd scout out banks and credit unions, and then they would physically breach the ATMs, popping the hood or forcing the door from the outside. They'd swap the hard drive or plug in a USB with a custom variant of Plautus malware. The malware hijacked the cash dispenser, bypassed all the limits and safeguard systems, and straight up jackpot the machine, dumping every bill in minutes. Anti-forensic codes wiped the logs, so the bank didn't even know what happened till the next morning. And the cash flowed through an international laundering network back to the leadership of what they suspect was Tren de Aragua members. And Tren de Aragua started out as a Venezuelan prison gang, but has become a full transnational terrorist network. We've talked a lot about on this channel. They, do a little drug trafficking, little human smuggling, little murder, some claim on U.S. soil, but this malware allegedly gave them a clean, high-tech funding pipeline. No drugs or border crossings needed. Every stolen ATM dollar became another bullet, another bribe, or another safe house for Trinidad. On December 9, 2025, a federal warrant was issued in Omaha and charged him with 4 major conspiracies: bank fraud, bank burglary, and damaging protected computers, as well as money laundering, and the big one, providing material support to terrorists. U.S. Attorney Leslie Woods said without this malware, none of these crimes would have happened, and that arresting him would devastate one of America's most violent terrorist groups. The scale: at least 117 attacks or attempts, over 90 banks or credit unions nationwide, confirmed losses at $5.4 million from 63 ATMs, with another $1.4 million attempted, and one Nebraska credit union lost nearly $300,000 alone. A joint task force, Vulcan, was formed, and they have charged 87 defendants in this case, mostly Venezuelan or Colombian nationals. Many TDA members or associates. One highlighted that co-conspirators like Hema Romina, aka Rosita, who allegedly helped launder the money and aided to the gang bosses escaping prison back in their country. She's allegedly an entertainer there as well. They called this case historic, and proof that the FBI will follow the money and dismantle these networks. A reward up to $1 million for info leading to his arrest is on the table. So, it would be, they say, anonymous and confidential. Now we're going to be swinging from deadly serious, high-tech terror financing to something low-tech and absurd. It's hilarious. In Tampa, Florida, a 39-year-old named Jason Canals from Spring Hill was arrested and charged with 8 counts of interstate transport of stolen property. A max of 10 years if convicted on all of those, plus forfeiture of every traceable penny. Canals allegedly ripped off a wholesale produce company, the one supplying onions and potatoes and other vegetables to all our grocery stores. In one scam, he took the fake emblem, the signature, and all that for, emails, and made fake documentation. The total losses of over $600,000 of produce and transport. So imagine the FBI raid when a garage stacked with onion sacks and fake invoices is there when they kick down the door. So we went from one case where they were turning ATMs into cash. Now Canals is rerouting potato trucks like it's a bad crime comedy episode. Peak Florida absurdity, if you ask me. Still landing a six federal felonies though. So, we're going to be shifting next to Honolulu, where Tavela Afalava, 31, of Aiea, Hawaii, was charged with a superseding indictment for his role in a 2021 murder tied to a ICE conspiracy of a man named Fillmore Tavake of San Francisco. Docs say on March 27, 2021, Tavela Afalava and the co-defendant, they allegedly came to the victim and shot him in cold blood when he didn't pay for the ice he ordered. In an ongoing distribution conspiracy, he was shot multiple times outside of his home, and surveillance video showed how a no-plates vehicle was parked nearby and 2 males approached, gunshots, and then they flee. The video was caught on a Tesla's surveillance camera, they say, and the charges he got were, attempted murder, as well as the drug conspiracy and the distribution. And, the mandatory minimum for these crimes is 20 years up to life. And U.S. Attorney Ken Sarason emphasized that they are committed to abolishing these violent crimes. And finally, we're going to go to Beaumont, Texas. Back to ATM's crime, an old school but violent gang style, contrasting the high-tech version. 4 Houston street gang members were convicted in another ATM-style robbery case, or what they call juggings, targeting people leaving banks with cash. Charles Bernard Bird, aka Doughboy 34, was found guilty on March 5th for conspiracy to commit bank robbery and aiding and abetting. So, he could get up to 20 years. His co-defendant, Kendrick Douglas Warren, aka Bullet, and another man named Derek Deshaun Brooks, aka D. Brooks, they're all co-defendants, and they all pleaded guilty earlier, facing 20 to 45 years. They targeted ATM repair techs in 2024. On October 8th, Brooks robbed a tech at the PNC Bank drive-thru in Beaumont, took $153,000. Brooks and Warren hit another Education First Federal Credit Union and grabbed $146,000 in less than 20 seconds. Police found the getaway SUV abandoned and traced the plate via readers to the crime. 84 minutes later, Houston PD stopped a black truck Bird was driving, Warren and Brooks inside, with the exact $146,000, gloves, and fake plates. All 4 of the members were apparently members of the 103 gang out of Houston's 3rd Ward, doing juggings, robberies, etc. U.S. Attorney Jake Holmes said they turned everyday banking into high-risk targets for violent gang. Even jugged a customer an hour before one heist. So big picture, Canellan allegedly uses custom malware for multi-million-dollar terror funding. He's got a $1 million award, the 10 most wanted. Then you got Jason Canal stealing $600K worth of veggies with email tricks. Then you got Tavala allegedly guns down a counselor over some ice caught on video. Then you got Doughboy and Bird of the 103 gang smash and grab ATM techs that got a lot of money in seconds. Global terror, ridiculous produce heist, cold-blooded murder, old school gang juggings, all in 1 week's federal filings. This has been a wild week on the spectrum, and if this has been, eye-opening for you, for the next time you see a produce truck, maybe you'll think back to this video, subscribe for more deep dives, and comment, which case shocked you the most. And if you know of a similar case like this going on in your city. But that's it for today. If you've made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate you being here and spending your time with me. But before we go, I want to say something really quick. That my name is Christian, and Fed by Fire Media is something that I'm building from the ground up. And right now, I'm doing these videos in my free time while I'm working my factory job every day, grinding it out until my balls drag the floor. I'm grateful for my work. I'm happy to do it. But the truth is, my dream is for this platform to grow into something much bigger. One thing that I really want to start doing is bringing real people onto the channel. And if you've lived an interesting life, if you've been through something wild, difficult, inspiring, or just unique, I want to hear your story. We can sit down, do it on StreamYard, or if you're somewhere else, I'm open to coming to where you are and filming. The whole idea is simple. We take a look at life through your eyes and let people hear it straight from the source. So if that sounds like something that you'd want to be a part of, reach out, because your story could be one of our next episodes. And for everyone watching, you're part of this too. Every view, every like, every comment helps this thing grow a little bigger. So subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about the cases we covered today. This has been Fed by Fire. I'll have a couple other videos that will be coming out this weekend. We're going to be doing an Iran video and then some other case breakdowns. As always, it's nothing but love, y'all. I'm out.